As expected, two terrible hurricanes and striking machinists cut into job growth and cut it to nearly nothing in the month just ended.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Bitwarden, with a reminder that a password manager for business can be a crucial investment in protecting employees, executives, and IT teams. Bitwarden.com.
I'm David Brancaccio. There's news just now that just 12,000 more people were on payrolls in the month just ended. Call that flat for the month. But while the unemployment rate held steady and low, there's more to this morning's report than just noise from awful weather events and a strike. Economist Julia Coronado at Macro Policy Perspectives just read through today's jobs report, and she joins us now. Hi, Julia.
Good morning.
So, a headline is going to be, we can discount some of this report because of special factors.
Yes, we can discount most of this report because of special factors, the strikes at Boeing and other areas, as well as the hurricane effect, which was pretty big at the end of the day.
All right, but the government statisticians also revisit their numbers from the month before, September, and the month before that, August, and they put the numbers down.
Yes, that's right. We saw more than 100,000 in downward revisions. So after that blockbuster September report, it looks the underlying trend still looks solid, but a little bit more subdued than prior estimates suggested.
All right, so that puts paid to the narrative that you had heard here and there a month ago that maybe the job market was heating back up.
That's right. The job market is cooling. It still has, good sources of resiliency, but it is a little bit harder to find a job now than it was, say, earlier in the year or a year ago.
All right. And quickly, the unemployment rate held steady. It's low, 4.1%.
That's right. The unemployment rate is not affected by the hurricanes or the strikes, and that was confirmed by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And it's held at 4.1%, which is still a historically low unemployment rate, consistent with a pretty decent, strong job market.
Economist Julia Coronado is also a professor at the University of Texas, Austin. Thank you. Ahead of the jobs report, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are all up in the 0.5% range. Retail gas prices are pointing to the average dropping below $3 a gallon for the first time since 2021. It's $3.12 on average at the moment. Yet Middle East tensions have pushed up wholesale oil prices this morning more than 2%. Here's Nova Safo.
Oil prices are poised to end the week at a slight gain amid the conflict between Israel and Iran, along with its regional proxies. Axios is now reporting that Iran could retaliate for an Israeli missile barrage last week with its own missile and drone attack through proxies in Iraq. The attack could come within days. Over the last month, the price of West Texas Intermediate crude is up nearly 2%. But that increase has not had much of an effect on prices at the pump. In fact, AAA says cooling demand could send the national average below $3 a gallon soon. And while crude prices may be up now, they've been mostly on a downward path since midsummer. That's despite efforts by Saudi Arabia, Russia, and OPEC Plus, the cartel of oil-producing nations, to push up prices. Their efforts have been stymied by a global economic outlook that's grown rather tepid because of challenges in Europe and China, and by the U.S., the world's largest oil producer, which is pumping out record amounts of oil and gas. I'm Nova Safo for Marketplace.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by the full-time Plus Flex MBA program at Indiana University's Kelley School, the only 2-year program of its kind. More at go.iu.edu/KelleyFlex. And by JLL, helping clients unlock real estate possibilities across industries, from data centers to life sciences labs. JLL.com. JLL, see a brighter way.
Now to this confounding real estate market. Maybe people were waiting to make offers on a house or condo in August, hearing the Fed would lower interest rates in the month ahead. Existing homes had fallen to a 30-year low by September, yet fresh data, pending home sales, people signing a contract to buy, shot upward, way past expectations in September. The thing is, mortgage rates have been rising and rising ever since the Fed tried to lower rates in mid-September. Marketplace's Mitchell Hartman explains.
Back in September, existing home sales were anemic, but pending home sales soared. Mortgage rates fell to just over 6%, but in the last few weeks, they've risen again to around 6.75%. It's a housing market that's really
unpredictable.
says Israel Hill, managing broker at John L. Scott Real Estate in Portland, Oregon.
The interest rates going up, a lot of things are on hold. The election is putting a lot of pressure on people pausing decision making.
Hill says business is good, but lately houses have been sitting on the market longer. Lawrence Yoon, chief economist at the National Association of Realtors, says there's more inventory now.
30% more listings in September versus 1 year ago, more choices for consumers.
Who, he says, are in a better position to buy because jobs are plentiful. And
In the past couple of months, wage growth exceeded home price appreciation.
most analysts think the recent spike in mortgage rates is temporary, tied to stronger than expected economic data and uncertainty about the election. Bill Adams is chief economist at Comerica Bank.
The Fed has signaled pretty clearly that they're likely to continue cutting short-term rates in the near term. So that's probably going to translate to lower mortgage rates as well.
By the end of the year, predicts Guy Sakala at Inside Mortgage Finance,
we should be close to 6%.
that'll encourage more homeowners to sell and buy a new home. And Bill Adams says there's another reason to expect more properties to come on the market.
The passage of time. It's been 5 years since housing was really normal. A lot of Americans have become empty nesters, or they've had kids, or divorced or separated. And so the housing that they had no longer fits their lifestyle.
Meanwhile, home buyers are finally getting used to higher mortgage rates, says Portland broker Israel Hill.
Because of the new normal, like nobody's thinking the interest rates are going to be at 3%.
Which is a good thing, says Mike Fratantoni at the Mortgage Bankers Association.
Having mortgage rates twice as high as those record lows, I think it's taken some getting used to, but from the longer sweep of history, a 6% rate is a good rate.
After all, from the late 1970s to the early 1990s, mortgage rates rarely dipped below 10%. I'm Mitchell Hartman for Marketplace.
Add to all this, last week, mortgage refinancings fell through the floor with those mortgage interest rates up and up. At the same time, mortgages locked in to actually buy a place to live went up 5%. I'm David Brancaccio, Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.